Hey everyone, I'm Mind, and this is set number 76213, King Namor's Throne Room from the LEGO Marvel Superheroes theme. This set contains 355 pieces, 3 minifigures, and will retail for $34.99 in the US. This set does not officially come out until October 1st, 2022, as a part of LEGO's Black Panther Wakanda Forever wave, but it was sent to me early by the LEGO group through the LEGO Ambassador Network, but of course all opinions expressed in this video are my own. So here is the namesake of the set, the actual throne for King Namor, and this is a pretty interesting build, but I honestly quite like it. I don't believe we've seen what like this throne looks like in the movie yet from any official trailers or anything, but you can see aesthetically the throne's meant to be made of like the skeleton of some large sea creature, and it's got like these slightly yellowed teeth and all these little markings on it. I genuinely just think that's a super unique design and turned out pretty well. However, I'm not the biggest fan of how flat it is in the back. Again, this could be accurate to the movie, I'm not sure yet, but at least from like a toy design standpoint, I'm just not the biggest fan of this and this like weird gap right here, because it feels like there's two parts of the throne. There's the actual chair itself and then there's the skull around it. The skull looks great, but then cuts off awkwardly because the back of the chair is in a different spot than the back of the skull is. Now, if we go to the movies and this is what the throne ends up looking like, okay, this is Marvel's fault, not LEGO's fault, but as of right now, just me personally, I don't think that gap looks the best, even if like the overall colors and everything are very cool otherwise. You can see there's the actual seat for Namor to sit, lots of room behind him too, and then he's pretty much just built up on a large platform. You have lots of like seaweed and whatnot growing out of the ground. I like the fish swimming around the throne too to show that like, yeah, this is under the ocean. I think that's really cool and gives it a very aquatic vibe. And I think the dark red works really well here. It's not a color people typically associate with like underwater themed things, but I generally think it works really well and I like the trans red used with it too. Come around to the back, there's this little red panel which can open up, and once you have that moved out of the way, you can pull this part out, and there you can see there's 4 different colored gems on the inside, and I guess that's the treasure that's stored in this throne room. That is another thing that I absolutely loved. It reminds me a lot of the things that would come in LEGO sets when I was a kid, and I remember when I was little I loved getting these gem pieces in sets. So if a set like this existed where you got 4 different colors in one set, I would have gone crazy for it. And I also think that's really well hidden away, because I mean lots of sets do things like this where they have something hidden away, but no, this is like really smooth. It slides in super nicely, and you can close it up and barely even notice that it's there. There's a secondary feature of this part of the build though, because when you do have it closed up, if you push on that a little bit more, that will actually shoot out a disc shooter at the front. Now, I feel like it's been a while since I last saw LEGO use a disc shooter, but they're always a fun play feature to have, and I think it's a fun way to have Namor fight against Shuri in this set. But that's about it for the throne itself. I think this is a great display piece to just sit on the shelf, but of course that's not everything in this set, because we also have Shuri's Skirmisher Submarine. Now, this is a side build hero vehicle that doesn't really use any crazy colors, and typically this is the kind of thing that I'm like, okay, it's cool that it's included, but I don't really care too much about it. But I have to say, I'm quite impressed by this one. It looks really cool. Stud shoes out the front, as always, another like play feature that you can have with the set. Also, a little stickered piece right there. But my absolute favorite part is the way they did the actual cockpit here with all of these trans black pieces. Now, trans black is a really cool color that I think is severely underused, but also the angles on these, the way they all come together. Of course, they are still a little bit gappy. It's not perfect geometry here, but it's really close and makes the entire vehicle look very sleek. You can open up every single one of these panels too, and if you want to actually put Shuri in the vehicle, you can slide her in face down. Then you can close it all back up around her, of course, and there's how she looks actually piloting the vehicle. Around the back, nothing too complex in terms of architecture. However, I really like the trans blue used here, because otherwise this would be a very monocolor build, but trans blue provides that nice splash of color and fits with the overall Black Panther theme, fits with the overall like underwater theme, and I think it works really well. Oh, and I'm not sure if I mentioned, but 2 more stickered pieces on the top right here. So yeah, I usually find side builds like this fairly uninteresting, but I genuinely think this is a really good one. The designers did a fantastic job, and it's honestly one of my favorite parts of this set. So here's the first minifigure in this set. We have Shuri, and this figure is honestly fantastic. Right off the bat, I believe this is an all-new hairpiece that they use for her. Obviously, always nice to get more diverse hairpieces in LEGO, so this is just another great one to add to your collection. But diversity aside, it's just super detailed. Like, it genuinely looks really nice. I feel like that could be super useful for customs, but it's one that's great to see. Like, I genuinely really love it. She, of course, has the little gauntlets as her accessories, as always, but then I think her actual outfit is really well designed. I love the splash of purple in the center. I think that is absolutely perfect. It doesn't make it feel like super monochrome, but also the gold used in the legs and like the little bits of metallic silver as well. It just makes it feel like a very elegant minifigure. Taking the hairpiece off, there you can see her full face print. I think that's honestly a pretty good expression. It's a smile with a slightly raised eyebrow, and then turning her around, look at her back torso print. We have yet another smile, and this one is a closed mouth smile. Now that is probably my biggest complaint with this minifigure, and it's something that I feel like LEGO does with a lot of female minifigures, where they give them 2 smiling faces instead of 1 happy and 1 angry like they do with a lot of male figures. And I think especially with a theme like superheroes, it doesn't make sense for Shuri to be smiling all the time, right? She's fighting bad guys. So I would have preferred 1 happy and 1 angry or 1 sad, or just something that isn't the same exact expression. I think of the 2 I prefer the open mouth smile, but both are good. It's just both together and not the best option in my opinion. Back to a super though, again, really good, same color combination that I really like. Just a fantastic design. Again, I think the silver and the purple are by far my favorite parts of this figure. Great job, LEGO. Then for the next two minifigures in the set, we have Namor and we have Attuma. Namor is another really great minifigure. So he's obviously got the whole like shirtless design going on, he's got the necklace around his neck, but then he's got golden hips, which is a really cool color that we don't see too often, and surprisingly he has side leg printing, which is something we rarely see in LEGO in general, but especially not in Marvel sets. Marvel figures barely get any leg printing at all, let alone side leg printing, so that is super surprising to see, but it looks really good. You can see like his shorts continue around the side of his waist to make them actually appear longer, which is nice to see. But then he also has these little wings on his shoes, which looks super cute. Same exact thing going on the other side. And then the teal and gold color combination in the legs does look pretty nice. And the metallic printing works really well with the metallic piece, too. Yeah, this feels like a very high quality minifigure. I would say it's almost good enough to be a CMF, but with the CMF price increase, I don't know if this guy's a $5 figure, but if he was sold for like $4 on his own, I don't think I would bat an eye. Because yeah, this guy feels really well done. His hairpiece too is really cool. It uses like the elf hairpiece with the little ears on the sides. Though this time around it's got skin color printing as well as teal printing. Now that skin color unfortunately is not printed dark enough, so it doesn't really match like the actual piece color used for his skin, which is unfortunate, but I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world, because if you're not looking too closely, you can't really notice it. But that teal does look super cool. And then taking a look at his alternate face, you can see it's pretty much the same thing, just angry. Yeah, not the most interesting like actual face print in the world, but I don't believe we've ever gotten a face like this on the skin tone, so it is still unique in that sense. And I do think it looks good, and I like that, unlike Shuri, he does have one happy and one angry face. And then Attuma, I have no clue what this guy's deal is, because obviously as of the time we're recording this, the movie has not come out yet. But this guy is awesome. I love the bright blue used. And then his clothing is super detailed. You've got all this like metallic printing all over, sand blue, brown, whatnot. Again, fits that whole like underwater vibe really well, but then also just feels very unique and fun. And then his helmet piece, I'm not sure exactly what this is, like maybe a skeleton of like a hammerhead shark or something. If anybody in the comments is more knowledgeable about whoever this character is in the comics, please let me know. But yeah, regardless of whatever it's supposed to be, it does look really cool. You got the giant spikes coming out the back in sand blue, and turning around you can see very similar aesthetic around his back. Taking that helmet off, there you can see his face print where he's got like this printed mask. On this side he's got a fairly neutral expression, but then the alternate face is a little more angry. Oh, and then you have little bits of metallic printing too, which are really cool, like these little dots in his torso. So yeah, I have no clue what this guy's deal is, but I'm very curious to see like what he's got to do in the movie, because I really love this minifigure. It's fantastic. Honestly, all three minifigures in the set, the designers did a fantastic job. I'm super satisfied with all three of them. But overall, what are my thoughts on this set? It's hard to say. I do really like pretty much every aspect of this set. The biggest question for me just comes down to the price, and it's just, I can't really tell if it's fair or not. Because piece count wise, it seems fine. The minifigures are all great, really detailed. 3 minifigures, $35 is perfectly fine. And all the builds in this set feel well thought out. Nothing just seems thrown in there to jack up the price. But even still, I can't help but feel like this set feels small. If this was a $25 set, I'd be like, okay, that's about the right size. But for $35, I don't know, it feels like a bit too much money to me. But I can't put my finger on exactly why that is, because piece count wise, yeah, that seems like a $35 set. The minifigures are really detailed, you got new molds, side leg printing, etc. So I'd say overall, yeah, I would recommend this set, but just be aware buying this that the actual build turns out to be very small. It's dense, like there's a lot of pieces that go into it, and it does look really good, but it is physically small. And if that's something you're okay with, then 100% go pick it up. But if you're looking for something at a larger scale for your money, this is probably not the set to go for. But no, genuinely very well thought out set. My only real complaint is the way the throne works, the back of the throne with the back of the jaw. And as I said, that could very much be a Marvel thing and not a LEGO thing. We will have to see when the movie comes out. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of this set in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please press like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I do LEGO videos just like this one almost every day, so if you subscribe, be the first to see them. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!